Hello everybody, going to talk about some more aviation stuff today. I'm going to be going over an accident regarding a Cozy Mark IV aircraft that crashed on Sunday, January 14th, 2024. There was 4 people that were aboard this aircraft that perished in the accident, and the cause of the accident was due to an engine failure at night, and they shortly after takeoff, and they couldn't make it back to the airport and crashed in the ocean. The pilot's name was Lockheed Ferrer. His fiancee that was on board, her name was Cassidy Petit, and another lady by the name of Wilma Shiles was on board, and there was also a 4th person that hasn't been identified yet, so we'll probably have to wait to see who that person is. But I want to go through this for you today to make sure that you don't make the same mistakes that this guy made. And I want to be clear right now, I'm not jumping on this pilot that just died here. My opinion of the whole thing is he was not aware of the dangers of his airplane and flying at night at that airport. When I started watching the Blanc O'Leary show with Juan Brown, he was going over the accident, and I took the time to take a look at other videos up on YouTube regarding this Halfmoon Bay Airport in California. Well, they got a nice little video there. There's several videos on YouTube if you want to go take a look at them about their volunteer noise abatement procedure. So I started watching that with some skepticism, seeing if that had anything to do with it, and by looking at the videos, no, not at all. In fact, it actually keeps planes a lot safer, keeps people up high above the pattern when they come in. But as I was watching the videos, as a professional pilot, I started looking at where could I land an airplane there if I lose an engine in a single engine aircraft right after takeoff during the day. And I'm telling you, there is nowhere to go there. There is nowhere to go there. That's a tricky little airport. It's a beautiful spot, but I'm telling you, it's not single engine friendly because there's just nowhere to go. There's a couple fields right around the airport there, but runway behind you is useless, right? You need something ahead of you. So I'm just going to put this up now for you so you can see off of runway 30 when you come out of there. As soon as you get to the ocean, you can see that there's like nothing but cliffs, water, and if you turn north or south, you're going to be following the shoreline, and you see there's nothing but houses. There's no place to stick an airplane. Then I went and took a look at the other runway, which is runway 12 there, and sure enough, there's some beaches. So if you lose an engine, you can crash on those beaches there. And that nice big long beach, there's a big long sliver of beach there. The only problem with that is that the wind is coming in from the ocean there pretty strong, and you can see that the water's pretty rough there. So when you try to land on the beach there, you're going to be taking a 90-degree crosswind with an engine out. Ouch. So you're going to get hurt or you're going to get killed. So my recommendation to you is never, never, never go to that airport with a single engine aircraft. All right. So taking a look back at this Cozy Mark IV airplane, single engine. The tail number is November 656 Tango Echo that crashed. They went out for dinner and they took off at night, and it's a single engine airplane with a full load of people on board, right? It's 4-place aircraft, so there was 4 people on board, and they took off and they lost their engine shortly after takeoff. I believe it was runway 30. Now, the problem with all this is when you take off out of that airport at night, you're going to notice that you're going to be going into the black abyss, and you're going to be encountering what they call black hole illusion. That's no different than basically taking off down the runway and slamming into a fog bank at the end, because as soon as you rotate out, you can't tell what's up and what's down. You're going to be on your dials. So when he took off that night and was flying out, he was climbing out into the darkness and his engine quit. And if his engine is driving his vacuum system for his instruments, like his attitude indicator or his heading indicator, he's going to go on partial panel. Whew. and you can see the wreckage. They did not ditch the airplane, they crashed it. That plane was in like in a million pieces. So I don't know exactly what happened there in the end, but it was definitely a disaster waiting to happen. I also mentioned in my other video that, you know, you're flying along for 5 years in your airplane and all of a sudden, boom, it happens. And that's what's been going on Halfmoon Airport. Guys have been going in there for years, flying out with no problem at night or whatever, even during the day, and not having an engine failure right after takeoff. But one day it's going to catch up to everybody, and here we go. We got this accident here. So if you want to go into Halfmoon Bay Airport, what you need is a twin engine aircraft. Okay? If you have a twin, it's a great airport. And the reason for that is runways 30 and 12 are going to take you over the water, and you're at sea level. That means when you have an engine out, you're going to get full power on the other engine because you're at sea level. And you're going out over the water, so you're not going to have to worry about hitting anything. So single engine, going to get you killed. Twin engine is going to keep you safe. So just a word of the wise there. And what this guy did that was wrong, he took his airplane to the wrong airport. You should have realized that going in there was dangerous. But when you're an MIT guy, you're an engineer, you're not a professional pilot, you really don't see the dangers. If you're flying single pilot IFR at night like I was in a 208, we're always wondering where we're going to go, especially when we're flying in like bad weather. Boy, that accident was really terrible. Anyways, I just want to get over some other things here too. If you're going into that airport and you think that crashing in the water is a great idea, no, especially with a fixed gear landing gear like that Cozy Mark IV. It had fixed landing gear in the back, only the nose gear retracted, or a 172. Because I'll tell you, as soon as you hit the water with anything sticking down like a landing gear, you're going to do a flip. And now this video that I'm showing you here, it's called water egress training. I took this about 23 years ago. I was actually in this exact same simulator, and I remember going to do the course, and me and this other pilot, we were laughing thinking that this was a joke. Like, they just place you in a pool, the water's nice and warm, you gently get placed in and they roll you around, and then you open the doors and get out. Looks pretty easy, huh? I hated that course. It's not as easy as you think, because they put you in there and you're in a 5-point harness, and then they start sinking you, and it's a little bit dark in there, and you get the water rushing in your face, and then you spin upside down, and the water going into your nose. After a couple dunks, you know that when you go in, you start breathing a little bit of air out of your nose so you don't get all the water in your nose. I did 11 dunks in one afternoon, and I did one in the dark there. You can see in this video that there's no windows in that place. So when you do it in the dark, you want to talk about scary. Now, taking a look at the Cozy Mark IV that crashed in Halfmoon Bay that night, it was dark, they're upside down, the water's freezing cold, and plus they're injured. You really don't have a chance. You really don't have a chance. So, word to the wise. Now, just to take a look at another incident that happened with a caravan, and you can go see this on Blanco Leary channel there with Juan Brown. You can see the difference between a private pilot who's not really a working pilot and a commercial pilot. The commercial pilot in the 208 flies out of that airport every day, and when he lost his engine, he knew not to come back to the airport. He knew that that highway was there because he's coming out every day, or she. It could have been the lady flying, I'm not too sure. It was two crew. That crew landed in that spot there, and you can see the difference in the outcome. One outcome, they lived, and that was the commercial pilot flying, because he flies every day and he's always aware of that in a single engine he needs to stick it somewhere. And then you got another guy who's more like a weekend warrior going out for dinner and not really seeing the dangers. And he's flying in perfect VFR weather. The one thing he wasn't aware of is the blackness out in the dark there. So, moral of the story is, if you're going to go places with your plane, for you private pilots out there, make sure you research your airports. Make sure that if you have a single engine, you got a place to stick it right after takeoff. There's a lot of airports out there with cow pastures and lots of fields. You lose an engine, you just go put it in there, right? Or there's a soccer field or a good quiet road. But you can see inside these videos for Halfmoon Airport, there is a highway there, but looking down, there was probably about 100 cars on that road. And you got to remember, if you do go down, you could get somebody killed down there. So when you're flying an airplane, you're not going to just kill yourself, you're going to kill your passengers, and you're going to kill somebody on the ground if you have no place to stick that airplane. So my best advice to you is don't do it. Don't do it. If you want to go to airports like Halfmoon Airport, make sure you got the right aircraft to do the job, and try to come out of there in the daytime, because you got black hole illusion. And this would not happen. And it's just a tragic story. This guy who crashed, he had the whole world ahead of him, doing great, and just went for dinner. And all he had to do was go there for lunch and have a twin engine, and he would have been fine. He would have shut her down and flew over the water and handled the situation. Now, getting back to twins, if you do go in there with a twin, there's one thing I want you to know. If you do go in there with a twin and you're going to take off at night, since I talked about black hole illusion, and when you come off runway 30 especially in there, you're going to go into that black abyss, you're going to be on your instruments, for sure. Don't even bother looking out the window. I'm telling you right now, because there's no lights out in the Pacific Ocean there. You won't be able to see until you turn around and start heading back to shore again and seeing the city lights. So, when you get on the runway, for runway 30 at Halfmoon Airport, turn all the lights up in the cockpit. Get it bright in there so you can see everything. And when you go down that runway, soon as you rotate that airplane, your eyes are right on that six-pack, and no autopilots. No autopilots, no tablets, no phones, no nothing. And you expect an engine to go, and you're going to jump on that ball, and you're going to keep that plane straight, and you're going to fly straight out into the ocean, and do not talk to ATC. Do not talk to ATC. You just fly, 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 get control, get up to 1,000 feet, lift the bad engine, and turn around and start heading back to shore. Once you get your composure back, then you can talk to ATC and tell them what's going on, and then slowly start dialing back the lighting inside the airplane to get it dark again, so when you arrive at your arrival airport, you got a nice dark cockpit again, so you can come in without ruining your night vision. You have to give the rods in your eyes some time to adjust. But coming out of there at night with a twin, you better be good. You better be good, because coming out of there and going on your six-pack and having to fly an engine out, and don't turn. Just go straight out to sea. Just get some altitude, get up to at least 1,000 feet, and the good news is you're at sea level, so you're going to get full power on your good engine. So that's just my recommendation for this accident. It was totally avoidable. I'm not blaming the pilot. He was just unaware of this. And go take a look at this caravan guy. He lost his engine, and he did not go back and try to get into the airport. He did not try to even get back to the airport. He just went and stuck it on the highway. That's exactly what I would have done. That's exactly what I would have done.
That's exactly what I would have done. Exactly.
Hey, if I ever find out who that caravan crew is there, for the two of them, the lady and the guy, I think there's a man and a woman that were flying that airplane, I'll buy you a few beers. I want you to tell me how it was, and all I can say is good job. But anyways, that's the show for the day here, and stay tuned for my next video, and hey, fly safe and have a good one.